Hey YouTube, it's Grace, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how I do painting commissions. This video is aimed towards people who want to start doing commissions but don't really know how to start, or towards people who have seen my content and want to commission me but are curious to see how I do it. Also, disclaimer, this is just how I do things. There are probably millions of other artists out there who do commissions who do things very differently and also have amazing success with it. So this is just how I've done things so far. Also, I'm open to suggestions, so if you guys have any ideas, if there's something you think I could do better, leave it down below and I'd love to hear it. Personally, I do my commissions through Instagram, so the first thing that I do when I decide I want to take another commission is change my commission status to open. Once I make that change, it usually doesn't take more than a few hours for someone to message me and be like, "Ayo, commission time?" And once I've messaged them for a while and we've sort of established what their budget is, what painting they're looking for, what country or state that they're from, then I can continue. Once I've messaged the person who's commissioning me a bunch and we've figured out what painting they want, I come down here and choose what size of canvas to paint on. Most of the time people are fine with the sizes that I have here, like 12 by 24s, but sometimes they want a bigger painting, so I'll have to custom order it, which is no big deal, but that's also what I do. Now, one tip that I would recommend to any artist who's looking to do commissions is to take some sort of payment at the beginning before you even start working on the piece at all. I say this because the internet is a big place and sometimes people don't want to pay you, or they aren't able to pay you and you've already spent a bunch of time on a project and then all of a sudden it's wasted. When I first started doing painting commissions at the very beginning of this year, I actually sold the painting itself on Etsy, but I have since stopped doing that because Etsy has raised their fees a lot and it really just is not worth the convenience. Since then, I have switched. I mainly take payments through Venmo now, although some countries don't have Venmo, so I've also used PayPal, but I prefer Venmo just because I have a business account set up and the whole thing just feels a lot more professional. I also make sure to keep all of my updated prices in my highlights in my Instagram, just so that if anyone is thinking about commissioning me, they know exactly how much I'm currently charging for something. My prices don't change very often. In fact, I think I've only really changed them once, but in case I need to readjust them, they're just on my highlights so I can easily change them. Anyways, I divide the payment into two parts, I guess. The first part I sort of view as a down payment, and that is just the first half of the painting labor, I guess. But once I've received that, then I can get started on the painting. And for this video, I'm going to be making a Minecraft sunset painting. First, I draw out the grid with a pencil and a straight edge. Then I paint over it with a layer of wall primer. Next, I paint a 1 pixel border around the outside of all 4 sides. This is how it looks after the first coat, which is very much a rough draft. And the second coat, as you can see, the paint is much thicker and I fixed some of the colors. I just finished the details, so here it is, pretty much done. And here's how it looks on a wall next to some other paintings. Now that this painting is completed, I'm going to let it sit here and completely dry for a day or two, just to be sure that once I package it, that it doesn't stick to anything. But once I'm 100% sure that everything's dry, I go ahead and make a box and wrap it in a bunch of tissue paper and even more bubble wrap, because I don't want anything to break in the mail and I don't trust the post office. My family keeps so much cardboard in my basement, so whenever I need to make a box, I just kind of use this and reshape it. It's a little bit more time consuming that way, and also the boxes aren't that pretty. But the only way you can actually buy the size of boxes that I need is to buy them in bulk, and that is expensive as heck. Doing it this way is also a little bit more eco-friendly because I'm able to reuse cardboard. But down here I have a bunch of tissue paper, a bunch of bubble wrap, and other packing supplies, stuff, and paint, and everything that I use for Etsy, basically. In the past, I've done the second payment in 2 different ways. It kind of just varies on the person. Sometimes I've actually asked for the second half of labor before I ship it, and then ask for the shipping payment as another separate payment. Sometimes that's inconvenient, so I just like lump it all together. You have options, so whatever you feel most comfortable doing. Another thing I forgot to mention is that while I'm working on the painting itself, I like to send the person who commissioned me update pictures or update messages if I'm really busy and don't have time to paint, just to sort of keep them in the loop and help them to kind of understand where I am in the process and how long everything takes sometimes. Once I go to ship the box, I'm able to get insurance on the painting. Usually that only costs like $5 extra, but it gives me peace of mind because just in case something catastrophic happens, then it won't be a huge deal. I mean, it definitely would be, but maybe not as much. The last thing I do with commissions is after I send it out, I make sure to send the person the tracking number just so that they're able to track it in the mail and see exactly when they're gonna get it. And then I'll also typically send a follow-up message. Usually the other person will send one first and they'll be like, "Oh, I got your painting in the mail, it looks looks so cool. I always really appreciate those messages or pictures to see how people like decorate with them. I think that is so cool and it makes me so happy. Sending my paintings away in the mail is kind of hard sometimes because if I spend so long on it, then I get like emotionally attached, and then just, I don't know, seeing an update picture of like, oh, it arrived safely just kind of puts my mind at ease. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this video. That's kind of how I do all my commissions and such. I hope that this video was helpful for anyone who A, was wondering how I did commissions, or B, wants to do commissions and just wanted to see how someone else did it. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye!